Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Jensday on a Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me for another lovely evening. Today, as you can clearly see that I have a guest here with me. I have none other than Tafara Masaisai. We were just speaking about how much I am obsessed with his last name and how easily it rolls off the tongue. Someone like myself struggled with their last name. I love meeting persons who have unusual last names. Before he introduces himself, I'm just going to introduce myself once again. I am your reigning Miss Supranational Trinidad and Tobago Janelle Thongs. Once again, guys, thank you so much for joining me with another episode. And Tafara, could you please introduce yourself to my amazing guests who are watching with me today? Please take it away.
Well, hi, good night, everyone. Well, my name is Tafara Masaisai. It's a Zimbabwean name. My father was from Zimbabwe. Tafara means always happy. Well, Huve means fish. That is a family title. And well, Masaisai is our family title. And well, I grew up in Belmont, Jadam Avenue. And I came from a family, well, a single parent family. My father returned to Zimbabwe. We went there. My mom didn't like it. And thank God she came back to that. And well, what I would say, boy, well, grew up with a strong mom as a single mother. She studied law, but she gave up practicing law to raise her children now. So I always appreciate my mom, June Thomas from Belmont, for that. And well, I have a brother who's an attorney, a sister who's an attorney, a next sister is a doctor, and a little brother, he's studying law now. So yeah, we try.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And yourself, and you are an attorney at law?
I'm an attorney at law.
Yes.
In the day, you know, the day and night. Yeah.
In the day.
I've been practicing law for 12 years now.
Wow.
Well, it's stressed. I was telling my friend the other day, you know, I was doing a case there and I didn't get the credit for the work, but you had to keep going at it.
Mm-hmm. I'm so happy that you say that. For those who don't know, before I moved to Mofa, I actually grew up in Belmont as well. I used to live in St. Barb's, right up on the hill. Yeah. And you see, being from Belmont, you see your community. You see that we have such talented persons around us. We have such strong-willed persons around us, and oftentimes people from the outside, they don't get to see that aspect of us, and they take our areas and they kind of basically judge us by that without even getting to meet us.
Even you said, well, I'll give an example of attorneys in the profession who came from Belmont, right? There's a senior counsel, Pamela Elder. She's from Zimbabwe's, you know, thing, and that's the best criminal attorney in my opinion. But she taught me law in Elders. And who else? We have Wayne Sturge. He's our next brilliant attorney. Who else we have? We have the Smart family. They came from Norfolk Street. Even the first president of Trinidad and Tobago came from Belmont, Sir Ellis Clark. Right? And even if people know the history of Belmont, Belmont was called Freetown. So that's where the slaves ran away when they didn't give them freedom from emancipation in 1834. So that's where, you know, the roots of Belmont is, you know, the roots from back then. So Belmont is love.
Belmont is love.
You know, so big up all to the Belmont people.
Yes. If you're from Belmont and you're watching this, comment which part of Belmont you're from, where you're raised. I actually went to school in Belmont. I went to St. Francis Girls College. I love my alma mater. Being from Belmont,
yeah, man.
You know the girls on the hill. I can say, yes, I can say for sure. If given another opportunity to be from a different area or different areas, I would not change that for anything. I think it has propelled me into the person that I am today, and I love hearing success stories from areas that people have no idea, you know, where we come from. So tell me, how do you think in terms of, in your position now, in a position of leadership, in a position where so much people look up to you, and I'm sure after this conversation, we're going to have some persons who are just like, your entire family, if they're not lawyers, they're a doctor. You understand? These are the things that people strive to become. And honestly, it doesn't matter what you decide to do with your life. You can go through a traditional job, or you can decide that you want to be an author or a paint. You want to paint, you want to sing. It really doesn't matter, but it's really about changing your circumstance. What advice would you give to someone who's listening to us right now, how to navigate through life, knowing that you may have certain things pulling you back, things that society has placed on you that you can't really do anything about until society changes? What advice would you give someone like that?
Well, I'll summarize my story as quick as possible, right? I don't know if it sounds boring, you know, but I went London with 200 pounds, right? After A levels, I got into do law, but I was working TSCT at the time, and you know those days TSCT paying you a good salary after school, you're content, right? Yeah. And well, my mentor was Miss Sandra Clark, God rest her soul. That's Mr. Leroy Clark's sister. She always liked my name and stuff, and she said, "Well, why you don't go and push and study law?" So I applied to UWI. I got in, but I said I'll take a break. And the next year I didn't get in. So I was like, what? You know? I went to UWI for a year. And when I looked around, I was like, the main professions really is law, medicine, and engineering. And it's not this in order, but the professions, but it's talking, you know, the main professions for leadership in this country then, right? So I was like, I applied for UWI. UWI turned me down. The dean, well, the woman who was in charge, she said law is a prestigious subject, not any and everybody can do it. So my brother, he Farai Masaisai, he was actually the counselor for the Belmont area. And he went to England first, about 2 months before me. And my mom said, hey, law is your passion too, why you don't go? And I was like, oh God, mommy, I don't want to go. You know, you're scared to go to different countries, like, way, you know? But I went with faith because my mom, you know, told me, you know, to have faith and stuff. And obviously I got help. I don't want to disclose how I got help, you know, the political spies out there, but I got help. And thanks to, you know, God rest his soul, Mr. Manning. But I still had to work hard. I still had to go through struggle. I used to play pan on the streets for money. I never played pan in Trinidad, but I learned up there. And we formed a band. And we used to play all over England and Europe, my brother and myself. And we had people working for us. And yeah, so that was that adventure. Yeah. You know, it made me tougher, stronger. And what I could tell people is, in life, the main thing is not to give up. Right? You must have faith, whether it's your religion or whatever is your belief, whatever. You must have faith in some
higher power
being that looks over you then. Right? Some higher power. And as I said, if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And I still believe in him that he'll take me further. Because I don't do this for myself. I do it, you know, to help others too. You know, as I say, Miss Elder, she inspired me to study law, and I try my best to inspire others, not because where you come from, you know. Even I had an ex-girlfriend, well, that's a next story, but she came up in England, somebody sold her a fake job. We didn't meet her yet, and that time, one of my friends, he was working in the train station. He was like, Tafara, your country woman is crying. So once you hear Trini in trouble, you know, you're going to help her.
Definitely.
And, you know, she ended up staying by me for a while, and she saw my study habits and stuff, and she was like, oh, I from Tokyo, I can't do that. And I was like, you mad her? And she only had 5 CXC passes. And right now she's a barrister in England, you know, happily married and stuff. So, you know, wish her the best, yeah. You could do anything once you put your mind to it. But the main thing is you have to trust the process, because the process is everything. Nothing is easy come, easy go. And if you give up, then you wasn't meant to do it. Because if you could give up so easy, especially, I know everybody going through struggles because, you know, in these times, and even, I mean, I say I don't boast or anything. If Ramon knows me, I'm kind of, you know, low-key, so, you know. But next week is 12 years I'm practicing law. And as I said today, my biggest case in my career, I did most of the work and well, senior counsel got the credit. So you take it with the chin and you just keep on moving because you know you're getting better.
Yeah.
And I'm still young. So, you know, so as I said, the quote to the young people, Nipsey Hussle, life is a marathon and you have to keep moving. You can't stop.
I agree. I agree with that.
That's my best advice for anyone. And don't let nobody say where you come from. You know? Because as I said, I grew up, you know, I was in gang, I was in all kind of stupidness. And God saved me from that. And still, even some of the fellas who was in it with me, you know, they look up to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was, so even the young people, don't give in to peer pressure. Whatever is your belief or however you was raised, stay away from peer pressure because you will learn the hard way. But thank God, God saw my path before I saw it. And, you know, he took me there then. And I have faith he'll take me other places. So, I hope that was quick as possible.
No, but that honestly, I've always believed that I don't have one role model. I think it's very difficult for me to just have one because there's so much people that you can meet in your life that can inspire you. And I believe every encounter is a lesson and or a blessing, you know, and just hearing you speak, I really do believe that God, he knows your heart and he knows where you are at, because literally just yesterday and today I was in such a terrible funk trying to get myself out of it. And I was just like, oh God, like I know to just lean on you and trust me, but right now I just can't. And this conversation has pulled me up immensely because I feel so inspired by your story of you talking this. I know for persons who are listening, I know the struggle. He has been practicing next week 12 years. This is a dream of mine to represent my country on this level for over 10 years. It's a dream that I had when I was 6 years old. And I can attest to pushing forward and where you come from, guys. And this is not for, you know, those who come from hotspot areas or the downtrodden. This is for anyone who's willing to listen and to receive this message. This is for you. This is because you may come from Digger Mountain, you may come from Glencoe, you may come from Deep South, and you're not hearing your areas being represented by us speaking. It's just because we share a similar background of where we come from. But this message is truly for everyone to continue pushing and going forward. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm sure, I'm telling you, based on this conversation, I'm sure you will inspire someone who you've inspired me already. So if it is you're looking for one person, you've already done your part. But you surely would have inspired someone listening to your story. How does it feel? How does it feel knowing where you have come from to see where you are today? How would you describe that success?
Well, to me, my song crazy or something, but I don't feel successful. You know, I believe
hungry for more?
Success is an ongoing process then. So from my experience too, when they get complacent or what you call civilized, that's when, you know, you could lose focus. So the main goal, anybody should, man, woman, or whoever, they should focus on their purpose. You decide what is your purpose. What is your purpose is something that makes you feel like it's not work.
Yeah.
It's passion. It's your passion then. Like say what you say you want to represent Miss Trinidad and Tobago International, you're gonna win, you know? That was your dream. Right? And I'm sure that people who told you couldn't do it. Why you doing that for? Blah, blah, blah. Your fears are mothers don't go nowhere. All kind of stuff I'm sure you hear. But you know what I mean? I'm sure it's come from loved ones. Yes, you love them. But that is life. Right? Because even I listen to motivational videos every day. Right? I always say, 24 hours in a day. I plan my day full 24 hours. Right? Some people say I don't sleep, but
can you give me some tips and some pointers?
I can give you. Yeah. Because everything in life is a process, right? And I mean, maybe I don't share too much of my life, but I went through a divorce, and I mean, I ain't saying bad talking nobody, but I was at a point in my life because I was just thinking, oh, I'm successful, me. But sometimes God just have to bring you down, right? So you could see life from a different perspective because you're so up there that, you forget where you came from. So one advice is always have humility, because it had others who came before you who paved the way. So you must always show humility and gratitude too. Because with everything is energy. Sometimes like if you listen to certain type of music, you feel that type of vibe, right? Listen to banka music, you feel that type of vibe. So at the end of the day, it's your mind. So how you program your mind, you're gonna get whatever results, So I wouldn't lie, it had times in my career, I only had $200 in the bank. And then a client will call and you get, good money.
Yeah.
So, the main thing is never give up. You can't give up because if you give up, somebody else come in and take your spot. You have no mercy out, in the savage kingdom, but you still have to be kind. If you're a kind person, you be kind to people who are kind. And you be savage to people who are savage, or you just leave them to God. And God will deal with them how he wants to deal with them accordingly. But don't ever let nobody.
So much gems you're dropping. This is the motivational talk that I needed. So I will be listening to this over. Anytime.
But your dream is to be a motivational speaker, though.
No, definitely, because you're just speaking life into my mood. I'm telling you, my mood was completely shot. I was thinking about, work and the stresses of work, and then the competition is coming up and I'm looking to leave and I don't want to disappoint anyone. And you have all these things that you want to do, and then the stresses of the world just comes down on you, and you're thinking, okay, where do you go? So you mentioned success, and
if you worry too much, you can't change worries. It will always be there.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So you have to know how to take it with the punches. Like, okay, I could be vexed today and be like, oh, my name not in the papers, blah, blah, blah. But at least I know my colleagues know the level of work I put out. And I'll get my shine. It's just in God's timing. Because sometimes you might feel you're ready for the blessing, but you're not.
But you're not.
God does test you in different ways. So
I love that. You see, oftentimes people say, they want this goal, they want this dream, and you're working for it, but they don't plan for when they receive your blessing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to prepare for that aspect. I want to become Miss Supranational. Of course I do. That's why I'm going to Poland. But I have to think 10 steps ahead. I have to think, okay, when you have this platform and this title, what are you going to do with it? The dream does not stop. Your success, for me, success is more the journey than it is the destination. Because it's a continuous thing that goes over and over. Every time you reach a goal, you set the next one. We can't become complacent in life. And thank you. This needed to happen. And I'm hoping you guys are feeling the energy between us, because this is real and genuine, because I'm very happy to be speaking with you. And I see we're matching. See, great minds.
Yeah, I realize that.
Yeah, that must is love too. That must is love. All right. So
Blue, I love you.
So because of Miss Supranational, I have had the amazing opportunity to really expand on something that I've always wanted to do, that I have the opportunity to really give back in a way that I've always wanted to. So I have a community initiative. It's called Bridge the Gap, and it's spanned over so many things. But one of the main focus here, it's a leadership program with the St. Jude's Homes to the Girls, right in Belmont. And
right.
do you have any advice for me, and how do you think that I should approach helping those with leadership?
Well, if you want my help, I don't mind coming, because I was in fact, I was, thinking of that regarding the community, and I was asking God, to bring the right people too now, because, it have people who just want to use, you know, as I say,
This might sound
back,
good.
people out there.
I think it
But
would be
yeah,
great.
as I said, everybody has a story. The
Yeah.
best advice I could give you is just be true to yourself and tell your story.
Yeah.
And it will impact someone, Because, okay, I'll give you, as I said, I was going on a particular road in life. And I remember, certain police officers talking to me and stuff. And they showed me, certain scenes that would happen to you if you continue that life.
Yeah.
And thank God, I had a strict mom who took me out it and sent me another school. And that's where I focus on education instead of badness.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would always remember that moment, some,
To speak your truth. Yeah.
Speak your truth, because
I agree with that. No, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, because that same moment, as I said, I was young and I didn't have the confidence I had now. But you're still teenage, yes, so I give it to peer pressure.
Yeah.
And sometimes you could give it to peer pressure and you could end up in situations that could mess up your whole life in the future. So the best thing is to do, but as I said, right now in our nation, the generation behind us is the generation that needs saving, in my opinion. And we can't depend on nobody but ourselves.
Yeah.
If me, you, or other people who are out there, not just us, it could be doctor, it could be anything. Once you have a story, and that's what we gotta do. We gotta bring back the love in the community, because it's only hate and anger out there, and nobody to. I mean, I might not be the richest lawyer out there, but I still have the richest story, So, yeah,
no, but I think
mean, a good idea.
What you can bring to the table, and anyone that is. So for anyone who's listening to this and you feel compelled and you feel that you can assist in some way, shape, or form, please feel free to reach out to me or to Miss International on any of our platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, of course, our emails. If you really think that this is something that you want to inspire the next generation, I think it's so important that we realize that we have a role to play. I honestly and truly believe that is my duty to make this world a better place than I met it. If that means helping one person, I have done my part. I got caught up in thinking, you want to save the world, but you can only do that together.
Yes.
That sense of community,
okay.
Being from areas like this, I have grown up in a very safe and loving community. Even with the negative things that goes on, I have always been a part of a very massive community. I grew up with having Easter sports days that my entire neighborhood will put on. I grew up knowing if I need a letter for a job, I can go to literally anyone on my street and be able to ask for it.
Right.
I love the face expression. But I grew up with really a sense that if I needed something, I could always go and ask for it and I can feel safe. I feel now we've lost that sense where you can't even ask for a cup of sugar.
Nah. Like Trinidad now being like how England was in 2004.
Wow.
When I was there.
So disconnected.
It had no love. Yeah,
that's not what we want. That's not what we want. You shared your story of, being down a certain part. I can say for myself, growing up, my mom, I thank God for my mom all the time. My mom and my dad, they really instilled in us the importance of education. And when I say education, guys, please know it does not have to be four walls. Education can take forms in so many different parts. It's really a holistic approach to life. And I would just remember just seeing girls within my community, this is by no means is this a slight to anyone, because I know everyone's story is very different, but I would see them, young and they are having kids. And I told myself, like, you know what, I really wanted to break that stereotype of young Black girls coming out from communities such as Balmonton, Mofa, and Laventille. If you're coming from John Nelson Street, I really wanted to break that cycle. And for those who, if it may have occurred for you, that's fine. Your life has taken a different path, but they have made conscious decisions to make a better life for their children. And these are things that I certainly admire. And you have to be able to stand in your truth. You have to be able to know that wherever life has taken you and whatever cards that you have been dealt, that you are going to make that conscious decision to make a change. And that is why Bridge the Gap is so important to me. And I love that you, without even having to ask, that this is something that you could potentially want as a motivational speaker to be, because you're already on the path. If you don't think you are, you're certainly a motivational speaker already. To really inspire those who, when they hear your story, they know that their circumstance does not determine their outcome. And they really could, like, this sky is literally the limit. The fact that you were able to go all the way to England and you had to play pan, not knowing to play anything of pan in Trinidad, but you had to go all the way to England to learn how to play. It means that you have to be able to navigate through life. And as you said, roll with the punches. Yes. It's a lifestyle that you're gonna take with you wherever you go.
And what I can say is, anything in life, the beginning and the end has been the hardest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you start something, it's be hard, and when you're reaching your goal too, there's always be the most obstacles. But you gotta keep at it. You gotta be persistent.
Yeah. You're probably gonna hear me say this over and over, but I'm really, really thankful for this conversation. I know I really, really know someone's gonna hear this. They're going to feel inspired by this conversation, and I really hope you do. If you feel inspired, when you see this video, comment #inspired, #bridge the gap, definitely. So I just wanted to get the conversation a little bit more chilled. I know we're talking about, all things great. So tell me, just simply, what are things that, for someone who's so busy, who plans out probably every hour of their day, as I say, I need to get on that, because I try. But the day, by the time I turn, it's 4:00, and by the time I turn again, I'm rushing out to a meeting, or rushing out to, well, when I say rushing off, I mean a meeting virtually, or doing a session, especially as it's coming to time to go. I'm always very busy. What do you do for fun? What do you do after a very long day of cases and dealing with stressors? What do you do now?
Well, I listen to music.
Okay. What type of music do you like?
I like Weekend. A guy named St. John. I like chill music. Anything that calming. A little slow sometimes. Calm the nerves.
So
R&B and stuff like that.
Or Future.
Yeah.
That's it.
No. Future, Future. Yeah. Future, Migos. Like, hype. But I like Wiz Khalifa. Yeah, right now I like Wiz Khalifa. He's positive.
So you like to
like positive music.
You do?
Yeah.
Actually, gospel is my favorite genre. And I think next would be soca. I could.
I know. Big soca, man.
This we were going so well.
Yeah.
I love soca.
I don't like crowds. I might hit one or two parties, but people that go real parties and things. Nah, if I have a girlfriend, she could do her thing. Yeah, go and enjoy yourself, your friend. You know what I mean? I hope,
I hope.
Yeah, I hope.
That's fair. All right. So for myself, so I love to read. I'm not too sure if you're a reader. You probably are.
Well, I was some here, so I have a computer and then I have my TV there. So usually I would I don't watch like normal TV. I would watch YouTube and stuff. You could get anything on YouTube. YouTube come like an encyclopedia, you know.
Yes.
So like any book, so I can't use the obscene language, but yeah. So like one of the last books, I will listen to the audio book because I'm my whole life is my focus on reading is low. I'm tired of reading low, and I don't like reading. Yeah, because I have a good I can retain stuff good. God must bless me with that. Like, I can read things once and I'll always remember it. So that is my blessing. But
Lucky you.
Sit down and read. Nah, just tell me the main points. Yeah.
Okay then. All right.
But obviously I still have to read everything still. So I'll power read.
Okay. So you're one of those quick points, good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, get to the point.
What piece of what piece of like a law advice that you think everyone should know? If it's some let's say for a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, if it's one piece of law advice, this is not on the clock, so you can't charge me for it. If there's one piece of advice that you will give to someone, what would that be?
Only a fool represents itself.
Okay. That's fair. So guys, you heard it from him. 12 years in the game. I didn't see it. But for those who did not hear it, only a fool represents us. I think I can agree with that. You should go with a professional. You're not gonna change your plumbing by yourself. Nor are you going to do something that you've never done before. Leave it up to professionals, guys. So if it is you need some legal advice, hit up Tafara, Masaisai. Tell him Jen sent you. I'm not saying you're gonna get discounts, but he may link you a little bit. If you put hashtag Belmont is love, he might give you a little 10%. You didn't hear that from me though, but we'll see. All right. So seeing that your background is in law, how has things, I know the court has been, everything has kind of been virtual for now. Because of the pandemic. So, I have to ask you, it has affected everyone. Where are your thoughts on the pandemic, where we are right now? COVID vaccines. Hashtag mood. How have you been coping?
Well, I'll put it, boy. From the economy standpoint, pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure. Because everybody feel like have money. So he's the last person to get paid. So if the economy not circulating, but God is my provider, So I never worry about money because money is just paper. You can always get it once you focus on your purpose. So what I've done in this lockdown is that I've been home for 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 months I'm working from home.
Do you prefer it?
But I have home.
Do you prefer working from home or you like going into the office?
But I prefer working from home, but I'm missing court. I'm missing the courtroom.
Okay.
There's a certain energy and courtroom and stuff. Yeah. Missing the action.
That the living room just to give you in. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on vaccines or vaccination? Have you been vaccinated?
I waited until the last vaccine come, man. Nah. I drinking my bush tea and stuff. So
you're waiting on the last.
Tobago people. Yeah. Yeah, we African, the African, man, we drink people's tea, man. We good.
Yeah, that is amazing. How does it feel to be, half? Am I saying it right? Zimbabwe? I do not know. What do you call someone from Zimbabwe?
Well, basically, we just call them Zim,
Zim.
But
so how does it feel?
Well, when I was growing up, I had a little culture identity because, as I said, my father died when I was, But so I always knew I had an African name, and I had, something about your personality. You have traits from your mom, but it's something that's missing. So one thing I was glad for London experience was London was like a melting pot of different cultures.
Yes.
And I met people from Zimbabwe, and when they heard my name, they were like, "Hey, what's the?"
Yeah.
And they became my friends. So I actually have friends they're in Botswana and South Africa now. And I have friends in Ghana. So yeah, before COVID, I was planning to go back to the motherland and do some exploring.
Yeah.
Of course. Money, man.
I've always, but I certainly want to go to Africa before I leave this earth. And I want to visit as much, African countries as I can. I just have a feeling like going to Africa would feel like going home to places I've never been to. It's a very weird way to try to explain, but that's how I feel. I feel like if it is like I just need to touch the soil.
A connection. You feel a connection.
Yes, I certainly. So this is me inviting myself to when you go to Africa again. Yeah. So I have something to go with. Yes, I'm inviting myself. All right. So I don't want to keep the conversation too long.
My people is showing up.
So you know your tribe.
No. Well, we don't say tribe. We say people. That's a European thing.
You see, educate me.
My people.
You know your people.
We don't say tribe.
Oh,
yeah, my people is Shona.
Shona?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Shona.
I would love to know. I think that is something that is sad that we don't really know where we come from. I would love to know my lineage. But I know it's going to be difficult for me. My last name is not by any sense something that is easy to find out anything about.
No, you can always do a family search, man.
I've been trying, but the furthest I've gone back on my dad's side, I should say, my grandmom is actually from Grenada, so that's the smallest kind of there. And my grandfather, he passed away before I was born, but his background is Carib Chinese.
Right. Yeah. Well, you see, my grandmother Spanish, great grandmother Venezuelan, that way. So that
I love being Trinbagonian. We are the perfect little couple.
We mixed up.
There's simply not one thing. All right. So I really, really want to thank you so much for coming here and having this chat with me and taking me out of this funk and inspiring me to go forward and be great and to really realize that this is not just for me. I knew that before, but I feel like if my passion has been reignited even more, and I've been saying this every time I talk to myself that I'm walking into my purpose. This has happened for a reason. This didn't happen 3 years ago, 5 years ago. It didn't happen next year. I was meant to reign in the middle of a pandemic for whatever reason. And I am taking whatever blessing that I have received wholeheartedly, and I'm receiving it. I'm not looking at it any other way, And I just want to really thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with me this evening. We will certainly be keeping up with each other and having more conversations, because I don't know if anyone has ever told you, but your story needs to be out there. You are a breath of fresh air, and you will certainly go on to inspire millions of people when you become your motivation speaker. Just make sure that I'll take 10% as your manager.
Management, I take it from everywhere. Everybody got talent, you can't do everything by yourself.
That's it. It takes
a team. As I say, next thing I will tell people is build a team.
Yes.
But the main thing about a team, it must have loyalty.
A team.
That's what thing to find.
Yeah.
Taking burns with a chin up.
But I think once you are a genuine person, you attract that to you. And be okay with if things don't go right or you have someone in your team who's not really there for you. Just be content knowing that you have done your part and you know what you're bringing to the table. But that's very right. You need to have a strong team. It took me a while to realize that you can't do everything by yourself. It's literally impossible, you know, for you to do everything by yourself. And your team doesn't have to be 20, 50, 100 strong. Your team could be you and someone else, you and 3 people, 4 people, but dedicated people, loyal people to whatever the cause is. And
like one of the books I would recommend is Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Okay, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Well, if you had me on WhatsApp, I could send those things to you know. Because I send my friends videos every day now.
Yes.
So I have different groups of form for fellas, you know. For yeah,
so
even at the relationship advice.
Ready is what you're saying. Okay.
Well, no I just live life because Tafara the attorney just part of Tafara the whole. Yeah. You know, I don't want people that think, oh, he's a lawyer, blah blah blah. No, that's just part of your profession. Just do that. But who are you as a man? Who are you as a woman? Who is your identity? What is your purpose? What are you giving back?
Gems. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Like, I think, like, for myself, I'm a multifaceted person. I'm passionate about many things. And it took me a while to realize that I do not have to. What am I passionate about?
I talk plenty.
No, I am truly a lover of life. And I am. Oh, not a problem. Not a problem. I am more so the older I get, I realize that, you know, I have to be open to experiencing life and not just living through life. So I've always wanted to be a veterinarian. Who knows? Maybe at 60 I could do that. I want to go back to school to become a vet. But I've realized that even if I don't become a vet, through volunteerism, with a heavy focus on biodiversity and conservation, I'm living through that dream of loving animals and loving the planet. My mom is a boss babe and she has her many different hats and she's an entrepreneur. As long as I have known myself, I know my mom to be a hardworking woman who really tries for the art, you know, like they are superwomen and I don't know how they do it. So I want my own businesses.
When I was in London, like my mom raised us, she used to sell clothes at the side. That's where, you know, she did a hustle there. And she raised us in sales. So like when I went to London, I was playing pan on the streets. I was like, hey, because at the day, you had to be like F-pride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you could have pride and be like, oh, I'm not going to play on the street, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, you had to focus. You know, I ain't thieving, I ain't doing nothing, not doing something, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes people run here, but you continue and then they form, you know? So any lesson your parents teach you is always a preparation for what you go through future in life.
Definitely.
It's just, you know? So I can relate to it having a single mom, well, a mom who is an entrepreneur.
Who gets you say that your mom used to do that, and that's, my mom has been, you name it, she's selling it. I sure was
my mother.
They probably know each other. Probably
if
it's the flea markets, if it's the carnival boots are in the savannah, if it's Emancipation Village, if it's you name it, we're there. And you know,
but that's my birthday, Emancipation Day.
Yes, it exposed me to a completely different life. And you know, growing up, you take things for granted because you think you know you're watching things are how it's supposed to happen, or you watch not really social media at that time. You watch TV and you see, okay, mommy, daddy in a household, they both have these jobs where mom is staying home, and you have this idea, and then you watch your own life and you realize that it's not like that, and you have that identity crisis as a young child. of what you think it's supposed to be. But the older you get, you really realize that your life is your life to own. And I am so thankful. Like, my mom has instilled so much things in me. She doesn't know. She's probably hearing me speaking right now and loving herself, but it is what it is. But because of that, she inspired me to start my own business.
What your business is?
So I started 2 years ago. I launched a business called Carnipacks. So it's a carnival essential pack because I love soca and I love carnival. So I did that. There are more aspects to it that I just every year I want to branch out. COVID kind of stop things a little bit, but it is what it is. I was able to finally launch my charitable initiative. That's something that I'm so excited to be a part of because I really believe that I am leaving a legacy, and I didn't think that just the idea of that happening, I didn't think that it would have been possible to really believe that I'm putting my mark on the world. And I'm so happy for that.
One thing I would say is don't ever let society, what society labels or whatever you want to call it, make affect your decisions in life now. The better advice is you live your life. I mean, yes, you respect people, but you are your own individual. And it's only one life you have.
So you might as well live it.
You live it respectfully, of course. You respect your fellow man and stuff. But one of my favorite things to do also is I like to exercise.
Me too.
So I love like doing outdoor exercises like Chancellor, Bamboo Cathedral.
This outside.
But I used to be 300 pounds and I lose weight. That was one of the biggest. I used to be 300 pounds, went on to 210. So that's I'm doing hills.
It's amazing. Well, I've had my own struggle with weight, and it's a very weird place to exist when you are involved in pageantry and you don't
online. Be real good. Yeah,
so
I said, I work out. I try my best.
Sure.
Everybody loves inside, so you got to adapt. If you don't adapt, you get leave. You get left.
That is the aim of the game of COVID-19, and this pandemic has shown even more. You have to be able to adapt. If you don't adapt, you will, as you said, you will be left behind. And today or tomorrow, you may take your time, but guys, always be constantly learning something new. Always be keeping on the top of your toes because you never know what's going to happen. So be always ready to switch when needed. Tafara, thank you. We can probably sit here and talk forever. But I know they're probably not going to want to sit here and for us to talk for like 2-3 hours. But I just want to thank you so much for joining me this evening. Thank you so much for having this amazing conversation. Guys, if you want to reach out to him, as a lawyer, as a motivational speaker, whatever you want to do, please follow him. I believe you're on both Instagram and Facebook. His name is Tafara Masaisai. His name is probably the only Tafara Masaisai that you're going to see in Trinidad and Tobago. So if you spot him, that's him. And of course, please feel free to follow Miss Supernatural Trinidad and Tobago on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. I myself, your Miss Supranational Trinidad and Tobago, Jenna Thongs, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as well. So we get some music for our outro.
Yeah, a little bit. I like Whiskey quite positive,
So, hashtag Whiskey as well. All right, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in to the next episode of Jensday on a Wednesday. And I will see you guys next week. We're going to have 2 amazing guests as well. And we're going to be talking about wellness, mental health, all the things to keep you sane, fit, to go through this pandemic and onwards. So I'll see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.